When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Social Media Derby. We've got a very special midweek episode, obviously with the extra game week this week. So we're obviously going to go through the weekend's games, Liverpool getting a win at West Ham, United beating Crystal Palace away, and then Chelsea-Arsenal draw at Stamford Bridge yesterday. But before we get into it, for those of you watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, share if you can. For those listening on the audio podcasting platforms, please follow, give us a 5-star review. All of that's greatly appreciated. And of course, the views expressed in this podcast are just for entertainment purposes, not real life opinions, unless they're football related. What are you guys saying? I haven't been on for a few weeks. There was a very interesting episode last week and the week before. How are you guys doing? Jonts, come to you first. You're still on mute. You can come off now, bro. How are you doing?
I've been better. The two ratty traitors on the left and right of me doesn't make me happy, but I will have my revenge.
Yeah, for clarity, there was some skullduggery going on with the predictions, obviously, last week that Jonty had to break live as the host. But yeah, he's as you can see, he's taking it well. Let's get into the Liverpool game then first. 2-0. Away at West Ham. I don't think any of us predicted that exact scoreline. A few people went for Liverpool win. But we'll go to you, Khem. What did you make of the game first, mate? I know you're overjoyed to see your team finally getting a dub. But how do you feel?
Do we have to kick off with this team? Fine.
Yes.
Whatever, we beat a shit team. Like, I'm not gonna get gassed about it at all because we beat Frankfurt and some other garbage unit like before. Like, we've lost pretty much every game in the last 2 months, it feels like, and we're still somehow 4 points off second. But I'm not gonna get gassed. West Ham are terrible. They didn't offer anything in transition. Nuno didn't have them organised at the back. They didn't really have like a counter. Bowen was missing. He wasn't even there to stop his midfielder from crashing out and getting Brazilians some money overseas for betting on a red card and shit like that. Even our players were trying to calm the guy down. That's how shit they are.
Allegedly.
We were trying to keep it fucking allegedly every damn episode. But
And you swear
even
as well. Congratulations.
they were so
like
they were so bad. They were so bad. We were trying to keep it 11v11, okay, just for the fans to have something to see. So I think that was probably the best game for Wirtz. He got to play as a 10. Kirkes was given more freedom to actually play his role. It was nice for Cody Gakpo to show up for once defensively as well as going forward. He had a good game, which is more to the standard he had last year. So more of the same, please. It's nice to see him pass the ball more often than not this time. Obviously, the big talking point, Salah being on the bench, but AFCON's coming up soon, so we might as well get used to him not being there. And the guy is 32, 33, so at some point, you're going to have to get used to having an attack built around someone else. So you might as well start now, especially since your head is on the his bald head is on the chopping block. So fuck it. Like, what's the point in getting sacked for a guy that's probably not going to be here in 18 months, right? So you might as well start now, okay? So yeah, good performance. Joe Gomez came in and did well. It was nice to not have, like, you know, this weird fetish of Jones and Szoboszlai at right back. He's just being normal and putting a defender in defence. So we'll take that. One thing that was interesting was Konate is actually able to play forward passes. I can find a little comp for you guys. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So it's funny how you can suddenly have the ability to play football when Real Madrid supposedly don't want you anymore, and Liverpool aren't really offering you a contract anymore. So you're currently homeless right now, Kanate, and he's twerking for freaking PSG probably to bring him home. So we'll see what happens. But it reminds me of the NBA where like Kawhi Leonard and these guys, when money's on the line, they can suddenly show up and have some talent. Great finish from Isak. That's probably his 4th shot on target since we signed him. So, if we keep supplying him and understand that he likes to have the ball into the box early and not delayed and all this rubbish stuff, then that will be good news. I'll be there on Wednesday. It could very well be that it's Slot's last home game or it's just a dead draw. It'd be nice to see the team score because I didn't get one of those the last time I went. So that would be appreciated greatly. It's a night game, so I'd not like to be freezing my ass off and bored. So if Sunderland want to come out and ball out, then that'll be fine. If we want to turn up, then that'll be fine as well. The main thing I'd like to say from this segment is this strip is cold. I don't care. Ray, you can hate as much as you want, and that is that. I'm done talking about this crap team, okay?
Man, you remember that Liverpool won, right? That's like 6 minutes almost of the most dour, depressing, swearing-filled Liverpool segment.
I'm not getting gassed. I'm not getting gassed. We weren't challenged in the match because one thing they've not done for about 8 weeks is overcome adversity in any game. So until they can show that they can suffer in a match, firm it, be resolute at the back, and then win a game and still control it, win duels when you need to, all that kind of stuff, on a consistent basis, then I'm back in. But for now, it's just as you were, I think, really. We're an inconsistent team trying to find their way. So there's no point getting too carried away because we beat a shit team. Like, I'm not gonna. I just can't. I saw us lose 3-0 to a team that was below West Ham not that long ago. So, yeah. And that same team got spacked by Brighton. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. They can prove me wrong. That's what they can do. That's what they're paid to do. And I will be there. So you can't even call me fair weather. Because I'm wasting time in my life going up to see them again, okay? But I don't know. Am I slot back in? It's good to see managers given a chance. Obviously, we know what it's like modern day where they get sacked immediately. But if he got fired, it wouldn't be a shock because you can't be losing this many games, performing badly, and be at risk of Champions League qualification when the start of the year we're talking about winning leagues. So again, prove me wrong, bro. Prove me wrong. Like I'm not getting carried away. I'm not getting carried away. That's
7 minutes of man cussing his own team up today.
I'm just here to suspect.
And go win.
Yes,
you're in light skin Lana mode.
I'm not on tour or off tour.
So for context, guys, after Forest absolutely bland the living daylights out of Poole, Khem just very succinctly dropped Slot out. I've had enough in a group chat.
Very much.
Like a week later, he's now talking about potentially being Slot back in.
I didn't say that.
Up.
This is on. Is anyone watching right now?
This is being streamed live, brother.
He also said Slot out more recently than that. He said Slot out in our chat last Thursday as well.
Have I said Slot in?
No, but you just said potentially nice to see managers being given a chance.
That's not incorrect. I said that about Arteta. He's still 5 years going. Well, I was going to say strong.
So to be clear,
we'll wait on that one as well. Get another year.
You're 100% out. Yeah, Slot out. Yeah.
I'm going to the game. Why don't you go to the Emirates?
Huh? Answer my question, yes or no. Are you
got the Emirates Pioneer Stadium, but it's not a real one. Get a real one. I'm going to see my team. I'm Liverpool in. I support my team. I'm there.
8 minutes in.
Managers come and go.
Disgrace.
All right.
8 minutes in.
Baby oil off for you right now.
No role models. J. Cole. I ain't getting tricked again. Yeah. I ain't getting tricked again.
Can't do all of that. I go to the games talk. You can't
damn right.
You can't do it with me for starters, and you also need to go very, very far to get to them. So can we let's move on?
You've been doing round trips of Anfield recently anyway. That's because you just need to see trophies because you freaking couldn't do it in the local end, so you had to go somewhere else.
I went to Anfield twice a number of months ago for work.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was in the executive.
Probably tripped on the confetti
Nah, I banged a little bit of judge next to the goalpost. It took too long to kick in. I was hoping that it would have run last season, just derailed things, made it a bit more. But I like the way that it's played out still. Look at you, losing your marbles after you won. Paqueta got himself sent off in a frenzy. And
that was dodgy as well. Can we?
And you're moving.
Yes, that was weird. That was very weird.
Can we say? Well, obviously,
the game as well, but
yeah, we're gonna say the allegedly, obviously, but that Paqueta scenario just was baffling. You can see his tweet afterwards as well. The whole thing is just weird.
Well, I think it just proves that he's really stupid. I don't think there's anything untoward about it, because you'd have to be like a completely different level of window licker to do that again after being accused and cleared of it. I think he's just not a very smart guy. And I'd argue that that whole kind of West Ham team looked quite disappointed at the moment. I was talking about it in the group chat. Bowen literally did not even come over as the captain, as the guy that's like missed time. Literally did not even come over and try and stop him at all. As you said, like Alisson was out here giving him back rubs to try and get him to calm the hell down. And he still
was in Reiki
yellow for dissent. He got a yellow for dissent on a foul that he did not even commit.
Yeah, it was like within
going and got another one. Honestly, that shows to me how stupid he is.
As my best friend said, the FBI might have to take a break from the NBA and come and have a look. Also, that's our first win in London in like a year, so maybe that's one thing I can take, because it's been poor.
Considering that Spurs play football here, shocking.
Well, it was a year ago, if you want that one, but yeah, that was the last time.
Can we just, apart from the other things that we're all hammering you about, this Gakpo stuff, can you give him a bit more credit than you did give him credit? Right. The way you just skirted over it and gave him like double negatives.
Joint highest assister,
right?
With the highest rating out of all of the players so far this season. And
it's interesting that only other fan bases that talk about Gakpo like this, but that's cool because
you're an ungrateful bunch of pricks. That's why.
The issue with Gakpo, which I showed you, was the amount of shots he's had and taken this year. His XG is shocking from all of it because he's been wasteful, and like I said, because his competition is someone who's still in high school, for crying out loud, or college, whatever, he ain't got to worry about his form, because last year, or his first 2 years in the team, he was a rotation guy who had to play his ass off just to get back-to-back matches, because obviously someone like Luis Diaz was there, and so on and so forth, and obviously like Diogo, etc. But like, he's not helping the team because he does the exact same thing as Salah, but at least for the last few years, or majority of Salah's time at Liverpool, Salah had the end product to back it up, okay? He was getting not just a ton of goals, but a ton of assists. Gakpo isn't delivering such numbers to be worthy of, A, slowing down attacks, cutting in, not using your fullback, and you're not bagging, and you're not pressing.
More than the rest of your attackers, though.
So what our issue has probably been...
the rest of your attackers, including the one that you've been garbage.
It's not much. It's like crediting Marino for having more goals or assists than like Saka, bruv. Like it's not a high bar at all to be saying. So have it if you want with Gakpo, but we're talking a guy who's got like maybe one more goal than someone who's supposedly washed. Like, have it. Like, I don't care. Gakpo played well.
Yeah, that's not the problem here, though. The problem here is that you talk about him as if he's literally the shittest player on your team. If you were saying like he's good, but he's not Salah levels, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. You're saying that he's literally the worst attacker, but he's been contributing more than all of your other attackers.
My issue is that he's literally been untouchable in this dog shit season that we've had so far. Everyone's been rotated around, benched here, subbed there. Somehow, I think it's just because because we ain't got that much height. I genuinely think because he's lanky, he just happens to stay on the pitch. So when we have to launch it or defend the corner, which they don't, he's tall enough to do it. That's the only thing I can go off, because he's been an untouchable in this team. Everyone else, I'm naming names. Salah has been benched and subbed off. Freaking Isak, Ekitike, Wirtz. All these guys have been subbed out, blamed, benched, rotated, all of that. But he's remained untouchable, and he's not
Salah
banging the numbers in like that.
He started fewer games than Salah this season.
Gakpo?
Yeah, he started 11 games. Salah.
Is this all comps? Is this all comps?
No, this is Premier League.
Cool. Well, I'm talking all comps because we've been shitting all comps.
Oh, now you're talking all comps. Of course you are.
Do we not talk all comps on this pod, or is this just the social media Premier League?
Give me 15
Is
seconds.
this the social media Premier?
On that as well. Okay. Keep on
No, man. Just hold. Just. It doesn't matter, bro. Like, I unfortunately watch every minute of this fucking team. Okay, I'm telling you right now, none of our fans are loving Gakpo. And when I'm judging him, I'm judging him on his past performances because he was very good last year. I'm not judging him like out of just saying you're a scapegoat. I hate you. He's not performing like he did before. He never was that. He stopped taking people around the outside. He stopped doing like link up play, give and go. He had more attributes to his game than just the obvious grab the ball, cut inside. That's all he's been doing this year. We'd like a bit more variety. That's all we're asking for. So maybe the Semenyo links will help. Maybe that will wake him up and he'll start playing again. That could be it. But he showed
buying more players. Buying more players is a solution, yeah? You've become Chelsea.
You're damn right, man. I love it. I'm not used to that, so I'll take it. Something new, you know. When you've completed the set, you've got to try new things.
Okay, of course. We're back to that one. All right, serious question though. Now I'll start with you, Khem, but then I'm not asked the rest of these lots, so you're gonna have to chill. No. We just got the slot thing because you say it, but I don't know if you're just saying it in jest or to try and just do a bit of banter or kind of rile people up. Do you actually think he's still on the chopping block, and that if he has a bad result against Sunderland, that he could lose his job?
Yeah, of course. He's definitely on the chopping block.
It's still that you think it's still that serious that if he loses to Sunderland or gets a draw, that he might get sacked? Yeah,
absolutely. Didn't Chelsea pan this same West Ham team like 5-0 or 5-1 at the beginning? They're not good. Okay, when he's had the chance to prove himself so far this season, it's not going to be good. Get a good run of games, and we can see something. Like I didn't even see much like to show me like this could be our style or like our way to go forward. Like, obviously, I think Wirtz did have a really good game, and it was good to see him being able to play like he's used to. But when we play against a team that will try and hit you on the break, freaking close you down quicker, high intensity, Sunderland are a much better challenge than West Ham will be. And then the next game after that is Leeds. They're a pretty average team. Those are games you should win. We don't win them. We'll see if we can do it, and then we'll go from there. Right now, it's as you were. It's a game that he was supposed to win when he was everyone's favourite, when it was it just a blip, and then when it's a crisis. We are still supposed to beat West Ham United because they're god-awful and probably going to be in the Championship next season. So it's as you were for him, man. Because we just beat Real Madrid and everyone was gassed, and then look what happened. Or like when we beat Arsenal, then we were crap after that. Or we beat Villa, I think it was Villa and Madrid back to back, and then we get panned 3-0, 3-0, 4-1. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not. There's no point getting gassed, bro. I'm not going to get gassed after West Ham when I just saw what happened after beating Real Madrid. No way.
All right, I'm not asked the Arsenal man then if they agree. Io, do you agree? Do you think that Slot is playing game to game, or do you think he's got a bit more kind of grace from the owners and the other Liverpool fans not called Khem or Brighton?
I just want to say, dry your eyes, Khem.
Whoa,
word to the streets.
Full government. Yo.
Word to.
We ain't even got like any Rustlers promotion or nothing.
Dry your eyes, Khem. It's all right, man. It's all right. That was to sit back and listen for those last 18 or so minutes was a painful experience for having no input as well. that was dry your eyes, Khem. My goodness gracious, mate. Woe is me. How bad must things be when you spend that much money? And this is depression. You honestly sound like I actually thought it was me for a second, but then you kept on going. I was like, actually worse than me. It's actually worse than it. But I'm on my goodness gracious. No, I think obviously in a given time, I think Slot definitely he's warranted it, and hopefully it might be a bit more of a. I get the pessimism. As I said, I've been there, and I understand where he's coming from. And you can't get too excited after one result, and it was only West Ham. So that is understandable. I do agree with the Gakpo hate. I think that is overstated, but yeah, I guess obviously, but yeah, as Khem said, he watches them every day or every time they play, so maybe he has a bit more insight. But yeah, no, I think Slot's definitely got a bit more time in him, and long may it continue again. This is a bit more an Amarin situation. It might just be a situation where we need to see these managers stay in the job for a bit longer. And it is maybe the way football's going. It might be good to see managers given more time to get through kind of rough patches and then bring it back out the other side. But yeah, I think after all the money spent, I don't really want to be hearing that it's like a roller coaster ride. I feel like he needs to sort out more sooner rather than later type of situation. I don't think it's more. I think the expectations are pretty high going into this season, so I don't think we can kind of drop them back down to not competing for the Premier League or competing in Champions League just because of this poor run of form. You can't spend that much money and not deliver. And yeah, with Wirtz, about time. Some people might say about time. So. Still, exactly. But it's hard to adapt to the Premier League for certain players, and others a bit more of a smoother transition. But Wirtz is, I guess, it's good for Liverpool fans to kind of see some of the potential that he was sharing at Leverkusen. But yeah, I think Slot's definitely staying for a bit longer.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on the Slot stuff. Wirtz, I'm still not moved. Razor, what do you make of it, mate? Do you think Slot's still on the chopping block, or do you think he's safe for a little while longer?
I said it before, and I said it last time around on the pod. I think I'm not sure if you watched it backhand and saw this discussion, because we seem to have this discussion every couple of days. But genuinely, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think one, when you spend that much, when you're a club that size, there's a commitment to seeing the project through. And I could hear it if he had just arrived and the wheels fell off. But he won a Prem. That's going to buy him, I think, at least till the end of the season leeway. And again, the last time we discussed this, I said, I think the big six manager in the most danger right now is Thomas Frank. You just got to get in the Q-Chem. Yeah, you just got to get in the Q-Chem. I don't think it's real. I don't think it's realistic. I'd be happy to be proven wrong, because also then it starts the whole thing of who are you going to get mid-season?
That's the thing, Ray. There's no other big manager out there either, really, that's available, apparently. For probably first time in a long time as well.
Maybe Southgate?
Please, God. That would be beautiful. After all the Southgate flipping grief I was getting from Khem when we were I'd
probably move to China if that happened,
Oh, that would be beautiful. I did see some stuff about Xabi Alonso. Apparently he's having some drama in Real Madrid, though, so I don't want to wish Slot to leave too much, but yeah. Yeah, I know, Reza. I did watch the pod back, because obviously the aforementioned situation that happened, and I know we're talking about it all the time, but I feel like Slot has to be talked about. This is it feels worse than a Pep run last season, although I know the Pep run with the City was more losses. It just feels more catastrophic because the money that's spent, the expectations, everything that was going on with Liverpool this season. So we got to keep asking until there's a resolution, I think. And obviously, if Khem's slot out already, that tells you what some of the Liverpool fans might feel, right? Jonty, what do you reckon before we move on to the Palace United game? Do you reckon it is as dire as we're making out with Slot, or do you think he's got some life in him left?
I think the way I'm looking at it is it's not game to game, it's like run to run. And he was on such a bad run, generally speaking. That's why it became a really pressing issue for Liverpool fans. Because I genuinely don't think Liverpool fans are the type of fans that push for these kinds of sackings mid-season like a lot of other fan bases would. They're not usually as cutthroat, right? They're a lot more together. They back their team, they back their manager when they're having problems for the most part, especially given kind of what they've come from, and they've been in pretty good form for the last few years, right? So I don't think they're the type of fan base that overreacts. But when it gets to an untenable situation like we talked about last week, right, where you've got players that look like they're not performing anymore, you just constantly lose, I do think it becomes a question of, okay, is this ever going to end? And that's where you get to the conversation of, oh, maybe we need to get rid of this manager just to kind of change the momentum. So I think it's more run to run, but I do think that as much as, Tamron, a great team, and it's not something to write home about, I do think that beating them, breaking that run in the Premier League, getting back to in the green again, let's say, and as Khem mentioned earlier, not being too far off the second, things are not completely gone yet. I think that will continue to extend his time at Liverpool. So, I mean, they've got kind of a mixed bag of fixtures coming up. If you looked at Sunderland on just on paper, okay, Liverpool can go and win that game. That should be a pretty easy one. But the way that Sunderland are performing, that could be a much harder game than you'd expect. Then Leeds, Brighton, Tottenham, Wolves, Leeds again. There's a couple of games in there that they could still go on and lose, right? Like that Sunderland game is losable. The Brighton game's losable. Even though Tottenham stink at home, that game is losable as well. So it will really depend on whether he can stop these like extended runs of terrible results. If he can keep like a win here and there, I'm pretty sure he will stay in the job, because I don't think, Hughes and all those on in the Liverpool hierarchy are going to try and sully their name by sacking a manager midway through the season. I think that's almost an admission that they've messed things up, and I don't think that is typically the way that like leadership wants to act. So they will only do it if it's like the only option they've got, and I don't think it is the only option they've got right now. I think the option they've got is drop Salah, see what you do with the rest of the team, be a bit smarter defensively, play actual defenders who can defend when fit in the four, and probably see a slightly better performance. So, yeah, long may it continue in terms of the stinkiness and questions around Slot. I think the only other thing I'd say is that, last season with Pep and with City, big difference is Pep has had such a body of work that it's damn near blasphemous to try and call for his head. As much as it was impressive for Slot to win the Premier League last season, he's nowhere near the conversation of Pep is in the Man City fan base. So, he's not invincible, and he could certainly get sacked this season, but it will just require them to go on a continually steady run of results and really start fighting for that 4th to 7th. Right now, they could still easily fight for top 4 and there'll be no problem. If they getting too far along and they're nowhere near those spots, I do think that the leadership will kind of look at it and think, okay, we might need to make a change here, maybe get in a caretaker manager and try and line someone up for the summer.
Yeah, man. Fully that, mate. We were right with Hughes actually, and Edwards, because obviously they didn't get him some defensive cover technically, so they'd probably give him some grace with that, because not signing Gahey was a bit of a flop, to be honest. And as much as Gomez played well, he's just probably getting his knee drained or something right now, and then he'd probably be out for another 5 weeks knowing him. So it's as you were. But yeah, they'd have to give him time, because they'd have egg on their face, because they hired him. The only thing that I'd say is the last thing, because desperately want to move on from this team. But obviously his job role is head coach. He's not manager. They obviously came back. They all ran back when Klopp left. So they obviously like to have a lot of control over incomings and outgoings. Maybe some of the players that were brought in weren't slot players. Maybe that's another thing that they're giving him some grace for. You never know. So
I heard that he was fighting heavy to keep Luis Diaz, right? He was.
Yeah, but Diaz wanted to go. Yeah, Diaz was linked with City the year before, but they didn't want to trade him for Alvarez. But the only thing I'd say is, if we were losing games but the style looked nice and it's just one or two players stinking it up and quite clearly we're not good defensively, I can live with that, because at least I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. But if not,
early days Klopp, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's early days Klopp, basically.
Well, early days, yeah, exactly. It's spot on. Early days Klopp, we could see what the plan was, and I have to say, Arteta, the early days, you could see what his plan was. You just had rubbish players. So when that's not happening, and there's a lot of, like Ayo said, lots of money spent on good players, like players that are in demand from teams in Europe and in the Prem, and we look awful, that's when it's like, brother, what's going on here? We're not even nice to watch. So that's why, until that changes and I can enjoy watching the team, it's as you were. The bold experiment, not fun.
Yeah, I honestly think he's got to turn it around quick, though, because otherwise it will end up being kind of what Ten Hag was like in the back end of that last season with United, where he just gets enough victories to keep his head above water but not achieve anything. And yeah, that will be beautiful for us to watch, but not good for you, mate. So hopefully that does come true. All right, let's go on to the United game then. It was 2-1 away at Crystal Palace. Big win. Sadly, it was sullied because Khem predicted that scoreline, so it kind of ruined it for me at the end. But it was a massive win. Obviously, after the disappointment of losing at home to 10 men against Everton, which was, I didn't get a chance to share my thoughts on, absolutely effing disgraceful. To get the win at Crystal Palace was massive. Obviously, Josh Xerxes scored and Mason Mount as well. I'll go to you, Razor. What was your... I know you didn't watch the match live, but hopefully you've had a chance to watch it back. What did you make of the game?
I was a little bit disappointed by Palace's showing, to be honest. I thought I was expecting big things for them against a weak or a side that have proven themselves to be weak at points this season. But nah, I think, credit where it's due. Selhurst Park has proved to not be an easy place to just go and pick up 3 points. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think, United played well, and they did what they needed to. Do you know what I mean? This is the levels that we've reached now, though, with United, whereby like.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
It's not really about like we know that they've got players and the squad that are capable of turning up on a day and playing football. Like you lot celebrated your 1-0 loss at the start of the season to us because everyone deemed that it was indicative of the fact that you could compete with anybody. Do you know what I mean? So it's like even you beating like a Palace or a Liverpool, it's not like, oh, okay, mad, crazy. It's like, yeah, but can you do it next week? And I think that's what it's become with United now. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. Good result. I think big result for them. Like I said, I thought Palace had it in the bag. I think I had quite a confident prediction the other way, to be honest. So a little bit from me, but yeah, good win for United. I'm sure you're happy. Nash is hiding somewhere, but I'm sure he's happy too. I just don't care.
Deep down, he's happy. Deep down, Nash is happy. He just doesn't want to admit it because of obvious reasons. But yeah, what was your take on the game then, man? Did you do you agree with Razor and think that was nothing too special, or what was your take on it?
I think more so Mateta, man. If he had his finishing boots on, it would have been a different game. He missed so many chances. I don't know what was wrong with him. He just completely was fluffing his lines in front of goal. So. Yeah, but I think the same, pretty much what Ray said with how disappointing Palace kind of looked overall. I think Wharton again, he's still such a good player. Like I love watching him play. But I think good result for you guys. Again, Selhurst is never easy. We've seen Palace take down many teams in red before, and just being they've made it a habit of taking them down. So So I think for United fans, especially after the Everton result, definitely something to feel good about. But yeah, I think Palace just put a poor show in and really disappointed. I think everyone expected a bit better considering. And yeah, I feel like you guys can be happy, but hopefully it's just I think you guys are showing you're kind of pretty inconsistent. Like one good result is not indicative of how the next week's gonna go, it seems. So I feel like the roller coaster is very much alive with United as well. So I think good result for you guys. Reason to be happy, and Mount scoring as well. I think that was a rogue one. Didn't see that coming, but didn't work. Didn't help my prediction as well because I thought Palace would definitely beat you guys at home. Unfortunately,
yeah. To be fair, Khem was the only one that went United win, and I'm pretty sure it was just reverse judging us. So
why I done that is
because
Palace aren't used to playing in Europe. They're not used to.
True, actually.
So they've
true.
They've had some bad results this season.
Glasner's coming out and moaning a lot. Seen the interviews now where he came out and moaned.
Yeah, they've not been good after midweek games. Apparently, they've not always lost, but they've dropped a lot of points after the Thursday games, and I think they lost.
They lost to a away team.
Well, this time I think they lost to Strasbourg or something like that. I think it was, who are actually a handy team, but they definitely gassed out in that second half. In the first half, they were all over us for the first 35, 40 minutes. And you guys are right. They did have a few chances. Mateta had one after Lenny Oro had a bit of a stinker in this game. I'm not going to lie. I love him, but he was poor in this one. Before he gave away the penalty, he gave away that chance to Mateta. And then Eddie Nketiah also had one where he just dallied for fucking ages. And Luke Shaw somehow managed to come in and stop the ball. So we got quite lucky because second half, they just looked completely wiped. Even Wharton wasn't as good as he was in the first half. And we managed to overrun them. But I wasn't that moved. It's still 2 set-piece goals. Set-piece ole with Arsenal, top of the table. It's nice to be top of some table.
Just leave us out of that. We score open play goals. Like stop acting
most in the league in the month of November.
Like exactly. Like
you concede set piece goals. That's true. You concede set piece goals. We'll talk about that one later. But no, it was
goals as if we haven't fucking conceded like 10 goals all season. It's stupid.
It's less than that actually. You've conceded. I think Palace had the second best defense. Yeah, Palace had the second best defense before this game, and you guys were like a couple of goals less than them. So I think you're still in single digits. And yeah, our defense is shocking. I think we're in like 20 something already, which is pretty poor. But yeah, this is a perfect example of a game where you would think it should lift the team. I think Palace haven't lost at home for 12 games in a row, and they've obviously played Liverpool and a bunch of other so-called big teams. And managed to get good results. So it should mean quite a lot to go there and get a win. Also, we've got this terrible run where we've basically lost the majority or drawn the majority of games where we have more possession. And we had way more possession in this game, but we actually managed to make it work. But we've obviously got a home game against West Ham. And I would have had the same prediction that we would beat them as I did for Everton. And yeah, we absolutely stunk that up. So I'm not going to get carried away. But I will say Josh Xerxes, that was a banging goal because it was a tight angle. I think Dean Henderson should save it, but it's still a pretty good finish. And then, yeah, we did well to come back because I was like Razor, once they scored the first goal, I thought it was curtains. So for the fact that we're able to come back and win is something at least. But what do you think, Jonty? Do you think Xerxes should keep hold of the centre-forward position? Because I think Sesko should be returning in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Or do you think Sesko comes right back in?
I think Sesko probably does come right back in just because he's quite clearly been chosen as your new number 9. So I don't think we're going to deviate from that, even if it makes sense to. I said it on the pod last week and I'll say it again now. I personally think that Xerxes is a better fit for the style that you play than Sesko would be. I think he would be, or he will and is, a much better facilitator than Sesko. I know things have been said about Sesko's facilitating is actually better than a lot of people expected, but I think you'd all agree that Xerxes holds the ball up better. He's probably a little bit better on the times dribbling and passing, and he's probably a bit stronger as well. So it would make sense to me to keep Xerxes in, particularly, you don't bench strike until they score, right? You want to try and get that heat, that kind of momentum of a striker to keep going and scoring as much as you can. So I personally wouldn't, but I think he probably will, just because you spent quite a bit of money on Sesko and he's supposed to be your next kind of chosen one up front. But I honestly think Xerxes is probably a slightly better option. I do want to bring out one thing, though. I think it's taken a while, but Euro has finally had his welcome to the Premier League mode. And it's funny that it comes against a player like Mateta, who is what you consider to be a proper Barclays man striker. And I think, yeah, he had quite a shocking time of it until he got subbed. I think it was just after the half time, and it looked like Mount was giving him a big old hug and trying to give him a pep after as well. So let's see how he builds from this. But yeah, he did not have a great time against Mateta. I will say a lot of defenders do not have a great time against Mateta, so no shame in that. But I guess in your next game, I think, who have you got coming up after this? You should have West Ham. So he probably won't get tested too much there. I mean, Callum Wilson or Nicholas Füllkrug, can you think of a shitter group of strikers to pick from than that? But yeah, it's just fun to see him all this time. And he finally... I do genuinely love Füllkrug just because I saw him at Dortmund and he was really good. But since he's come to the Premier League, he's looked like fucking Danny Ings, like 0.1. Like he's looked absolutely wank. So
when he subbed on, I thought he was a Sunday League guy. I didn't actually recognise who he was. I thought he was like an EastEnders guy coming on.
He looks like a part-time bouncer. If you look at his mouth, he's probably lost about 20 different teeth just from getting punched up or something. I don't know what's going on.
He honestly looks like he's got a day job in the week, like regular geezer.
He's obviously going to bang a hat-trick against us now, so thanks for this, guys. But Euro did have a rough time. He actually started the game decent. He put in a couple of big blocks, but that mistake that put Mateta through, just it spiraled after then. Then you had the penalty, which was, it looked like he didn't know how to walk. Like he didn't know, like left foot, right foot, which foot to put in front of it. It was ridiculous, really. I was actually surprised he didn't get hooked at half time because Amorim kept him on. We scored and then he hooked him and brought on Mazraoui, who actually did pretty decent when he came on. But yeah, Yora's had a couple shaky moments. That's like he gets a little bit more hate because of the money and everything. I understand that. But there was that Southampton winger that cooked him last season as well. So he's had a couple of hairy moments. Hopefully he can bounce back for my sake. But Mateta did. He was eating in that first half, and it was rough viewing.
Before we move on too much, I do want to ask you, and as the United fan here, Bruno, 2 assists, finally back on some sort of GA. He's had a rough couple of weeks. Are you happy to see the Rat doing well again?
I mean, you say that, but I think I swear he got assist in the Tottenham game. It's mostly been set pieces, though. I'll be honest. It's like a bit of a false thing when people talk about his creativity this season. He actually hasn't been that creative, and he's obviously missed a few penalties. So he's not been producing as much as he normally does, but he's been chipping in with assists from corners and the little free kick, obviously the 2 free kicks in this game. So he's been chipping in, but performance-wise, I'm never going to love him in DM position. I'll be real. Maybe we'll get to see him perform properly when Mbeumo and Ahmad go to AFCON and we're short a few cams, but I thought his performance was okay, but I think Casemiro's more someone to actually give proper praise to in terms of his performances recently. He's actually, that Jamie Carragher, the game's left him stuff. He has games every now and again when he looks really good. Yeah, I think Casemiro is. I think the biggest thing for him is if he gets a yellow card, you've got to hook him immediately. Kind of like you guys were doing in that Chelsea game. Anyone who got a yellow card, take him off straight away because you knew Chelsea were trying to get a player sent off. Basically, every time Casemiro gets a yellow card, you've got to hook him immediately because you know that you run the risk. So his whole game is dependent on when or if he gets a yellow card, how long he can play. In this game, I think he only got a yellow right at the end, so it was basically impossible for him to get a red card. But when he does play full games, we generally play much better and don't concede that many goals and get positive results. But when he's off the pitch and that absolute fraud Ugarte comes on, then we're fucked. So
do you think Cass is placing bets as well?
I don't know. I'm not going to make a judgment call on that one. Thanks for trying to line me up there, Khem. But anyway, let's move on from United. Big win. I'm happy for the win, but I'm not going to get too giddy. Rhys has not made it in time, so we're going to chat Chelsea, Arsenal, and Khem, you're going to have to channel your inner Arsenal hater, which I know is there, but just try and do it pretend you're a Chelsea fan for this next segment, because we're going to go through the Chelsea-Arsenal game. 1-1 at the Bridge. Chelsea with the red card in the first half, but still scoring first. And then Mikel Merino with a real striker's header to equalise, and then not many massive chances after that. Obviously, right at the end, I think Gyökeres has got to be punching up Timber at the end because he took that one straight off his head. But all in all, 1-1 is a fair result. Jonts, do you reckon or not? What's your take on the game, Jonts?
Yeah, I think it was a fair result. I'm sure Io and Rhys will get onto it, so I won't say too much, but I think they had a good game plan setting up Maresca. He is a good tactician, as much as people give him flack and stuff like that. He really does know how to kind of play against specific types of opposition. I think their plan was really good. I think they obviously came out and said, okay, don't let them have any time on the ball. Try and do 10 men behind the ball thing. Just come out, play them man for man and be really aggressive. And I think that is what led to a lot of kind of the bar that was happening in the first half. And even into the second half, obviously, when Madueke came on and then Enzo started trying to do his performative bullshit that he usually does. But it was it ended up being a very physical game as a result. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they've got very physical players in their team when they need to have them, right? So you saw he's a man mountain as well. You saw Caicedo obviously getting sent off for something that is definitely a red card. You saw Rhys James really trying to run around and bully our players off the ball. It worked. And I think, I said the first half up until the red card, essentially, they definitely had the better of it. I'm not going to gas it and say like they were significantly better than us, because let's be honest, they didn't have any really clear open chances. Esther put a couple of balls into row Z. Looked like he was trying to hit the fucking West Ham stadium from a couple of them shots that I saw. But like outside of that, there were no really big clear-cut opportunities. And I'd argue that we probably had the better of them with Martinelli's shot that that Robert Sanchez saved really well. So overall, it's pretty even. And then obviously once it turns into 10 men for Chelsea, you'd expect for them to maybe sit back a bit, but they actually didn't. They kept pushing on us. They got that goal. It was diabolical defending, set-piece defending from us. I had people saying stuff about like Enzo potentially being offside in that. I think that's bollocks. I think it was just generally just really bad defending overall. Then it was really weird. Then they decided to put 10 men behind the ball and just do nothing, right? Like they just wanted to essentially stifle us and just sit behind the ball. And that's when we kind of got our goal back. And then they started playing again. So it was kind of weird, that like little period between them scoring and us scoring, where they really, if they just kept the same game plan, I actually think they could have been more successful, maybe gone on to push for a second goal, or at least kept things like 1-0 to Chelsea. But as soon as they did that, obviously Saka was in Correa all game. He just didn't really have the end product with it. But when he did manage to kind of get a good cross into the box, you obviously have the Marino there to put it away. And then from there, I think it went back to being a pretty even game again. They still had their chances. It didn't really seem like it was one down. It felt a lot like a pretty even game. Then I think in probably the last 10, 15 minutes, we started to dominate a little bit more. We had a lot more kind of drawn to them, and we couldn't convert it. So definitely feels like points dropped. And more so than anything, it just annoys me that we couldn't beat, because I don't want to come out the end of this season and then a bunch of shameless Chelsea fans saying, "Oh, you won the league, but you couldn't beat us, though, could you?" Because that's what they're going to be saying, right? I saw bare of these fucking combined 11s. They put in 6 or 7 Chelsea players. They're the most gassed up, delusional fan base at times. Not really specific, but a lot of the other ones that are like have a big voice on socials. They chat absolute shite. And I just got to say one thing. You'll see it in my tagline here. Rhys James is not man of the match. I don't care who fucking paid off James Carragher or whoever else to say that. He's not the man of the match. Robert Sanchez is, by an absolute country mile. So I don't want to hear nothing about Rhys James. And if you are going to talk about Rhys James, make sure you also talk about your golden boy, Caicedo. Make sure you talk about your boy that locked up Yamal, Cucurella. Don't just be chatting about Rhys James when he's running around doing a whole lot of nothing, when your goalkeeper is literally saving your ass left, right, and centre. So
it's player of the match.
You're in there, you're watching from somewhere, shut up, quiet, hold your lips.
Oh, fair enough. I can tell Jonty's carried over his being rattled a little bit from yesterday's back and forth. Razor, what did you make of the game, mate? Did you do you think that 1-1 was fair? Do you agree with a lot of the things that John said about how the game went?
Yeah, it was fair. I don't think we went for it enough to warrant anything more. Definitely, if we'd gotten that chance at the end, if we'd scored that, I would have felt very smug. It would have felt like a bit of a smash and grab, despite them having had 10 men for the majority of the game. So, like, I think you played like the game in front of you. And I think like, you could start to talk about like players like who aren't in, who are in, notable absentees, the way that the game went. But I think overall, I think it was like quite fair in terms of the balance of play. And I think that was largely due to what John said about like them not kind of like, we saw it a couple of game weeks ago. There was like a Chelsea red card and Maresca completely lost his head and like made like 2 or 3 substitutions within like 10, 15 minutes of that and completely changed like the state of the game. And even when Chelsea were in a position to capitalize on it, despite being a man down, they weren't really able to. So it's good to see from their perspective. It's good to see that like he's not completely crashing out whenever something in the game goes the way that he doesn't like. But yeah, I felt like they came with good energy. I personally was disappointed that Caicedo decided to revert to shin kicking, because I was just like, I want to see you play 90 minutes alongside Declan Rice. All the talking has happened. I want to see you on the pitch, like going at it, dueling. And yeah, just a bit like head lossy. But I feel like I don't like talking about referees when we don't win. But I feel like the referee and the refereeing in that game was not great. I don't feel like they ever really had control over the game from literally like the first time when the ball came in and Saka got like clapped by Cucurella. And then I think it just kind of went on and escalated. And yeah, I at some point, yeah, like I want to see these rules when it comes to chatting to referees implemented like equally and fairly. I've been watching lots of Premier League football. I'm still yet to see any other player get a yellow card for using a towel to dry the ball, even though it rains a lot in this flipping country. Do you know what I mean? Yesterday, or was it yesterday? Shit, yeah, yesterday. Or the day before, whatever, you know what I mean? Like during the game, there were several points where like there's a bunch of Chelsea players surrounding the referee, basically telling him to send players off. Like, there's a reason. Do you know what I mean? And it's like it's like the offside thing, and it's like I don't think we turned up enough to deserve to be like, oh, we didn't get what we did. Like we didn't deserve it. And do you know what I mean? I feel like 1 point is fine, but yeah, it just felt like it ruined it and took a couple of things out of the game. And I don't think it was just in terms of Arsenal as well. I think Cucurella was struggling a lot with Saka. I think he was being a gripey little so-and-so. But I actually think the tackle that he got his first yellow card for was probably the cleanest out of the first 3 or 4 tackles that he did. Like, he got the ball. It was, maybe it was a bit like energy, maybe it was a build-up. But then, like, if you're playing football, that sets a tone, innit? Like, you're getting told not to foul.
Players, he did like the accumulation thing, right? Where he's okay, this is
what I mean?
Foul, so I'm giving you a yellow. But then for certain man, he was just like, all right, this is your first one, you're getting a straight yellow. So it was weird. Like, we ended up with like fucking 6 cards in that game. I don't think that we were fouling Chelsea any more than they fouled us in that game, and yet that's where we went. So it was weird from Antony Taylor, but you want to expect this from these certain types of referees that just trying to make the game all about them.
Yeah, but all in all, I was not disappointed particularly. I completely agree with Jonty's tagline and passionate rant about justice for Sanchez. I don't know. Chelsea fans all seem to get like this like one hymn sheet that they all sing from in it. They're not in the top 4. They're just about in the top 4. They're not like in the title race. They're the humble guys. They're just humble, chill guys hanging around, looking at Europe. Like now, suddenly it's Rhys James is great, and sorry, Khem, don't mean to give you PTSD, but we had this thing with Trent as well. It's like, why is everyone trying to argue that someone's the best right back or fullback in the league based on man doing a whole bunch of shit that ain't nothing to do with being a flipping fullback? Man are telling me like. The amount of fans like Rhys that were like, oh, yeah, see, like Rhys James told him you were talking about Timber. I was like, my brother in Christ, Timber is a fullback. He goes up the wing and down the wing and he defends and he helps the attack. He is a fullback. He plays like a fullback. Man want me to say that Rhys James is the best right back in the league because he was playing centre mid. What are we doing? What are we doing? But yeah, like I think he had a good game. I think Chelsea like stuck to their game plan. I think this player of the match stuff is overrated. Maybe I don't know ball in it. Thierry Henry and these man up. Oh, Rhys James, he's amazing. I feel like Sanchez was definitely the guy that made the difference for him.
Just feel like what you said about like they all sing from the same hymn sheet. I mean, they do it on their players as well, right? Like they've all got the same 3 or 4 players that they bring into every single conversation. They've all obviously line internally beforehand that these are the stats that we're going to talk about. These are the talking points that we're going to say. And Rhys James is one of them. Correa is another one, Cedo is another one, and then Esteval. And it's the same. It's kind of the same thing. I don't mean this offensively, Khem, but like Gakpo is not considered to be one of your stars, so you're not going to talk about Gakpo in like some, beautiful hyperbolic fashion. But then there's these other 4 players you will, and even when they do absolutely nothing on the pitch, they kick a ball a couple of times and they make a couple of passes, and suddenly everyone wants to talk about them. But they should be talking about Robert Sanchez, who they've been very, let's be honest, like they've been very, very disparaging of him for a long time now. They should be talking about him because he had a good game. They should be talking about Chalobah for far. They constantly complain about their defenders, their centre-backs. And in this game, both of their centre-backs actually had a pretty good game. Like, these are the dons that they should be talking about. Not talking about Rhys James at centre-mid, who got one assist. And apparently now they're telling me also that he led to a bunch of yellow cards. Since when is the statistic of getting other people booked something that you need to be chatting about? Like, as if that's some great thing. No one gives a shit, man. Talk about things that actually happened that were impactful in the game, and not this guy. Robert Sanchez put in like 3 or 4 really good saves that, let's be honest, the Robert Sanchez of old would have let in. And you don't want to say you're stum. They're stum about all of it just so that they can talk gas about Rhys James because they want to try and say he's the best right back in the world. I heard people trying to say that, don't even mention Timber in the same breath as him anymore. You've got to mention Timber and Malo Gusto together now. You're not allowed to bring up Rhys James anymore in the Timber conversation. Like, bro, off of that game, like, at least bring me a really good game. If he goes and plays like unbelievably against Barcelona, say what you need to say. But off of that game where you drew 1 at home, that's the game that you want to use as like the evidence to say that Rhys James is the best right back in the world, where he literally did not even play right back at all in the game. Use your brains. Man.
He was very good in that game, though. He was very good in that game, but he was centre mid.
They're just not used to seeing him play much, innit? That's why they're happy. Like, they're not used to seeing him. Like, I'm surprised his body held up against 10, being part of 10 men. Like, Jesus Christ, wow. I'm surprised his body held up after going down to 10 men. I'm surprised his body held up after going down to 10 men, having to chase
repeating yourself
the whole match. Like, he's not even the best James in his household. So, like, for him to even be on the pitch and last like this many minutes, this many games in a row is a shock to the system for the fans. So, of course, they're going to hype up old narratives, like you said, with Trent and all the other bollocks they used to say in the background.
Yeah.
Like,
don't get me wrong.
I do think Rhys James had a very good game. I just don't think it was warranting of him being declared the best right back in the league. And B, I actually think if you had to pick a player of the match, I personally would have picked the player that I felt like.
He might be the only one that can speak English from the Chelsea team. I don't know. Like,
Oh my gosh.
so they just someone that could understand a question from Carragher. You know what I mean? Yeah, sometimes that's what they have to do.
Mute this guy. Move on to Io.
Io. Well, we're gonna bring Khem in afterwards to try and be a hater, but he's hasn't got
the Chelsea team just got here, bro. They're still they can't learn the language as quick as Trent.
Oh my gosh!
Stop the boat.
No one has that Duolingo time.
Oh my days!
Come on, Io, save us from being cancelled. What was your
yeah?
take?
No, yeah, agree with a lot. To be fair, I actually do agree. I don't think I disagree with the fact Rhys James. I did think he was the best. I think he played pretty damn well. To be fair. Like, so I think Sanchez's saves were good, but I don't think they were. I think that they were manageable saves. Like, Martinelli's shot wasn't in the corner really, and then the Marino one at the end. I think when Gyökeres follows up and that was a good save. He gets down, but I don't think they were hard saves. And I think James actually was. Yeah, I think it was pretty effective. I think he nullified Rhys. Not nullified him, but he kind of impacted how Rhys was playing. But I don't think we turned up. I think we looked very lethargic, which was a kind of a shame considering, I guess, the week we've had. It was, we didn't look good. I don't think, I think 1-1 obviously in the end was a fair result. We did create, I think, the better chances, but I wish we took it to them more. It kind of left me wanting more watching that game. Saka wasn't, his final ball was a bit, it was pretty bad. Martinelli didn't do much. I think you can kind of see the difference between when Martinelli comes on and then when he starts. I think you kind of see he's definitely more of an impact player than when he starts, and you can see what Arteta means when he says some players are finishers and all that kind of all that stuff, all that terminology he uses. I think Martinelli.
Gumbo.
Yeah, exactly. Like it makes sense. So Martinelli definitely screams more of a finisher than I didn't really like him starting, and I was kind of. I never thought I'd be wanting to see Trossard start left wing, but here we are. What a turnaround! And no, I think we're disappointed. I think Caicedo from the minute the game started, he was just looking for beef. I don't know what his problem was. He was just amped up, like he'd done some pre-workout, and he was just ready and raring to go because he was just hyped the entire game. I think the theatrics was really annoying. I think there was so much kind of like, just theatrics trying to get yellow cards for us from the Chelsea players. Enzo and Cucurella trying to get in Noni's face was a bit pathetic. It was just so much. Yeah, it was just so overhyped. Obviously, it's a derby, which I get, which is nice to see the passion, but it felt so manufactured, really. But I think my thing was I was only concerned of how I just didn't really like. Yeah, Hincapié and Mosquera didn't really fill me with confidence as a centre-back pairing, which was kind of, I guess, obviously, it's to be expected when you lose your two first-choice centre-backs and you got to play two guys that haven't played centre-back together in a big game like that. So that might be something that needs to be worked on.
Holding. We must
that
say
is
that.
true.
That
is
true.
Levels
yet, but yeah,
it is
it
true.
wasn't as smooth as the gap. Even like the Hincapié Saliba pairing that seemed better. You know,
but we can't say
that we got the best. But at the same time, these two, it was the time they ever played together, right? That centre back.
I think so. Yeah, but no, definitely. No, you could tell it's definitely them trying to learn and figure each other out. But it just some of the duels they were getting into just feels like I'll just be stronger. Like Hincapié was just fun. He was just sometimes he looked a bit like erratic, but. Yeah, I think for them to come as a first, like to start a game together in such a game like that, obviously that was a lot of pressure. And I think it was 1-1's a fair result. Some Skelly, I'm concerned. The boy's confidence looks a bit rocked. Missed, I don't know, he wasn't. There's something going. I think the lack of playing time is affecting him, but he's still young. He's still got time, but he didn't look super confident in that game, man. Yeah, I don't know. It was hey, put your fingers down, mate. Disgusting behavior. Put your fingers down. It's good. Yeah, so there's a lot of things to be questioned, but I think leaving with 1-1 in the end, if we get to the end of the season, we win the title, we might look back and say it's a good point to have going to the bridge. I'm taking a point, but yeah, I think Chelsea can be happy because they going 10 men down so early in the game as well, and they actually looked pretty good even with 10 men. They didn't look like for honest, when the game finished, you couldn't have told me which team had 10 men, which is, I guess, is a kind of a bad sign for Arsenal because that game we didn't dominate the way we should have dominated, I think, and we could be disappointed that we left some points on the board.
Yeah, I think some of you guys, I think maybe it was you, Rhys, who said like a draw is probably fair because I think when teams go down to 10 men, and obviously I had this experience like last week or whatever to a much shitter degree, obviously, you kind of have to go for the jugular, but you guys didn't like you guys have all said. Chelsea almost seemed to react more and get more aggressive when they went down to 10, and you guys didn't really activate until you went a goal down, and then you started to realize that you needed to do something about the game. So it was a bit cautious until the last 10-15 minutes when you actually went for the win a bit more. So maybe that's probably the only criticism I could say. When you're playing 10 men, you got to go for it. But yeah, I can't say too much. We lost to 10 men only a week ago. Khem, what did you make of the game? Obviously, being a big, well-known Arsenal hater, I'm assuming you wanted Chelsea to win. What was your take on it?
Good sort of entertaining match as a neutral. Like it seemed like a good atmosphere as well. They got up for it. I think you were number 1 and 2 going into the game, right? I don't know if City was second. I've stopped looking at the table because it's depressing, but I'm pretty sure Chelsea was second. When is Rhys getting on? Can I long this out? No. I was joking when I said that the refs were favouring you for Caicedo. That was a clear red. I think what was shocking was the fact that two things. Yeah, first of all, they needed to wait for him to give a booking to then call him over. Like, bruv, just call him over. What are you wasting 5 minutes for? It was reckless. Just send them off. Like, the refs in this country are god awful. I'm gonna be careful when I speak about refs because I was wild in the last time I spoke about one ref on here, so I'll try and keep it PG. But Anthony
be
Taylor
careful
is
now.
disgraceful. Anthony Taylor is absolutely disgraceful as a ref. But what I did find funny was obviously Caicedo was faking injury, wasn't he, to see if he could somehow get out of it. I don't know if anyone noticed this guy. Every time Anthony Taylor was walking towards him, we start limping again. That was actually killing me. The shit housery that goes on in football is just ridiculous. But again, I think you guys aren't really complaining about it. And I guess, yeah, you could say a point was fair. But this whole situation with if someone's blocking the line of the keeper needs to be fixed because, like, we didn't deserve nothing from that City game. But that happened with Virgil's goal and all the former refs and everyone saying that was a goal. And then our very next game against Forest, the same thing happened and it was given. And then you guys have one that's given when maybe it shouldn't have been. Like, there needs to be like a line in the sand where they just say, like, was it clearly going past the goalkeeper? Could he see the shot or the header at the time of contact? And was this arsehole ever going to save it? Like, maybe they need to get some former players in the VAR room. I don't know. They need to tweak something. Or we just go to AI. Like, I don't know how Jonty is getting on over there. Maybe they need to send some. We need some. We need to just scrap everything. Stop using human beings or English people anyway, and just get. See. Earlier it sounded wild when I was saying that they can speak English. Now I'm saying let's bring in all the foreign refs. Okay, all right, okay. Share the wealth. But yeah, it's just horrendous. But in terms of the match itself, I think it's a good point for you guys because 3 straight matches, North London derby, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, that's a hard run of games. And to come away with just 1 defeat, 0 defeats in that and a draw in a cagey match, which, you know, bar a couple of great saves, could have been 3 straight victories. So I think you got to take that and run with it, really. You know, I think Gyökeres just came back, right? Martinelli, you're missing 2 centre-backs, guys. Like, he was getting greedy talking, but that's your backup centre-backs playing for the first time at Stamford Bridge. And, you know, even before the red card, you know, it's not like they were being, you know, destroyed like Euro was, right? They were doing their thing, holding it down. I think you guys have a solid team and a solid platform to run with. Like, those are 3 really difficult matches where the other team are going to be up for it as well. A lot of quality players on the pitch. And you held it down. One thing I want to say, what was Chalobah doing on the Saka assist? Because Cucurella is like, they're doing the same. Is one of you going to try and anyway? That's a bit of hate coming in. Like, is he actually going to maybe just go and press him? Like, he was literally mirroring his same move, like synchronized swimmers. It was so weird.
I don't think he could see out of his right eye because he had a bit of a nugget under it from after like Hincapie's supposed elbow.
Deserved it anyway. Pathetic.
It was a good scrap. It was a good scrap that match, to be honest. It was a good rugby game at times as well. But yeah, like, I think you guys held it down. Like, 3 difficult matches. I think you come away with it very strongly, and you just move on from there. So you know, fair play to you lot. It sucks to see, but they say that's what champions are made of sometimes, and you're demonstrating that. Obviously, yeah, you're not happy of how you fared against 10 men, but I don't know. It seems like all the teams just turn Super Saiyan when they go down. Like, I remember when Newcastle went down to 10 men, they suddenly came back. Everton didn't give United anything when it went down to 10 men. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe the other team get a bit too cagey because you don't want to concede and they don't dominate like they should. I don't know. They always say it's hard to play against a team that's lost a player. So fair play. I actually don't know who your next match is, but I think you're still unbeaten in God knows how long, right? So you just keep that momentum going. You're difficult to beat, even when you're missing players.
We've got Brentford next, which isn't an easy game either. So I'm hoping a few people will be back for that because that will be a tough one.
Yeah, as much as I do agree, maybe holding Hincapie and Mosquera to the standards anywhere close to Saliba and Gabriel is a bit harsh. I would be slightly concerned going up against Igor Thiago with either one of those guys in the next game because he's definitely been a bit of a handful recently. More so with Hincapie than with Mosquera. I think Mosquera actually did even okay in this game. Hincapie was more the one that was a bit more he seemed just a bit more volatile, if you get what I mean. He's a bit more
he
aggressive
also,
and kind
in
of.
terms of the way he plays, he reminds me more of Timber. He looks like he's a fullback playing at centre back. He doesn't necessarily have the stature to be like a proper centre back. Whereas you look at Mosquera, there's no other place apart from centre forward or centre back. You can look at him and you can say that's where he plays. Hincapié worries me a little bit because he's a bit lighter, and obviously he did make that challenge and then celebrate my man's face afterwards. He also has that American fire, which can get you a bit of trouble here and there. Whereas Mosquera, also South American, but has played for Spain for a while. I think he maybe keeps a more like level, even keel over the course of the game. I mean, we all remember the Xhaka trying to amp up the crowd and then fucking everything up for us. The passion is great, but it can sometimes hurt us a lot more than it can help in certain cases.
Yeah. Hope. Go on, Rhys. What were you going to say?
I feel like it's deep, man. Like the scrutiny. I feel like the scrutiny of these two is a bit deep, man. Like they're both new to the club. First season, this first time playing and pairing together. Both time when you've seen them and you've looked at them and thought, they're good. They've been playing against one of the best, what I think is one of the best centre back partnerships in Europe right now. Do you know what I mean? They've been playing with an element of that. So, of course, they've looked a bit better. And I think it's funny because I think when we used to talk a couple of seasons ago, when people used to talk about Gabriel and Saliba, it sounded quite similar to what you were just saying there. Like, one of them, he seems a little bit more suited to the role, a little bit more calmer, kind of knows what he's doing. The other one, he's a bit of a hothead. Looks like he's got a bozo moment in him. Something South American, something fiery. I didn't agree with you on that one. It got a bit racial, but
I don't disagree with you on this point. But my point is that we've got such a small margin for error in terms of going and winning this league. I think we're all kind of, our arseholes are 50p, 20p, 50p, 20p right now, and the margin for error on any of our players is so low that we see some shaky-ish moments from our centre backs, and we're like, oh, okay, wait a minute. I'm getting a bit worried again. So I do think it's an overreaction, of course, from all of us. But at the same time, I think we're all being haunted by, previous backup centre-back pairings that maybe affected us in a negative way.
Jonty, I'm so sorry. I have never heard a precious and treasure described as a 50p, 20p crazy.
Secondly,
it's a common saying.
I have never heard that in my entire existence.
I've heard a lot of stuff, but I've never heard that.
50p, 20p.
I've heard people. I clenched my arsehole. You know what I mean? When stuff get. But 50p, 20p, that is...
It's so vivid.
It's oddly specific, bro.
It's a financial term.
This one's getting put in the gulag this episode, I think.
Oh, God, Jonty, that is brilliant.
This one's gone with...
He said it so casually as well.
We're 11 minutes in. There's no problems.
Rhys has 2 minutes to save us from being cancelled.
No. We can't wait for him, man. Man's driving on the M1. He needs to drive safely. All right, let's go. Exactly.
Fairs.
Let's go on to the preview section then. Obviously, we've got games Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. First game of the Big Six is Fulham against Man City. We haven't really talked about it. Man City got a late win against Leeds. They made right hard work of that. And they're going away to Fulham, who obviously Fulham beat Spurs in the last game at White Hart Lane, or the old White Hart Lane. Io, you're top of the table. We'll start off with a Prediction League recap because there's been a few movements actually before we get into it. So Io, you're still top, 46 points, 8 correct scores. Rhys, who's driving somewhere out there, is up to second place, 43 points, 7 correct scores. Jonty is down to third now with 42 points and 6 correct scores. Khem is up to fourth with 41 points and 7 correct scores. Razor is up to fifth, 40 points and 4 correct scores. I'm down to sixth, 39 points, 5 correct scores. Nash is still bottom with 26 points and 2 correct scores. It's looking bleak. It's looking bleak. I'll say for the United fans on this pod. But Ayo, let's start with you. Fulham Man City. What's your prediction?
I'd just like to start with a homage on my prediction, just to say that I missed the last few predictions, obviously, and my presence I know I've been sorely missed by a few people. But I'm glad to be back here to give predictions live. And so for Fulham Man City, I believe I've gone with 1 second. Let me find it. Oh wait, I can't find it. Let's go.
Oh fuck!
Oh, sorry, that was the wrong thing. My bad. Sorry about that. What was my score? Was it 3? Was it 3? Was it 3-1?
How long is he going to take for these fucking predictions? Are we not putting time on this? You're sending time warnings every 5 seconds.
2-1 Man City.
You can't find it because he doesn't do the predictions, Ant, right?
2-1 Man City. It was my score. 2-1 Man City.
Oh man. Oh yeah, that was probably the longest wind up to a prediction we've ever had on the podcast so far. All right, 2-1. Rhys has also gone 2-1 Man City. Jonty, what's your prediction on this one?
Same 2-1 Man City.
Oh, Hilton stay. Your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
All right. Khem, what's your prediction?
Same as well. 2-1 City.
Right, I can see a trend developing here. Razor, what's your prediction on this one?
4-0 Fulham. No, I'm joking. 2-1 City.
Fuck's sake. All right, great. And it's me next. Guess what? I've gone 2-1 Man City. So that's all 6 of us so far. 2-1 Man City. Nash has gone 3-0 Man City. So he's
he's always different. He's
got to try. He's desperation now. Come on.
3-0 Man City. We're all going to be.
I don't think he's thinking about them that much. I think he's just looking at it and just putting it in, whereas the rest of us are probably giving it some thought.
Yeah, there may be some more analysis going on behind some, but you never know. He's got to pull off one at some point. Io, back to you. Newcastle Spurs. What's your prediction on this one?
I've gone 2-2 for that game.
Okay. Interesting. Gonna draw. Rhys has gone 3-1 Newcastle. Jonty, what's your prediction on this one?
2-1 Newcastle.
All right, Khem, what's your prediction?
I actually forgot. 2-2.
All right, you've gone draw as well. Razor, what's your prediction on this one? Newcastle Spurs.
Away, man. 3-1 to the Geordies.
I'm actually quite surprised that a couple of you have gone draws on this one because we can maybe touch on this a little bit more now. Spurs look fucking awful.
Yeah,
Let me just say it. Oh my God, they look awful. What is going on?
I've never
engine because he keeps getting trains run on his defense.
Bro, Vicario, that goal that he did, was it Harry Wilson? That when he come out like that, bro, that guy needs some serious, like he needs to give his head a wobble. And I heard that Thomas Frank came out after the game and said that people should not be booing him. So I'm still trying to see the proper fractures in that relationship because remember when Ange came out and said, you know, when they were trying to back losing against City, whatever it was, the whole fan base kind of against him. Vicario is not the man that you need to, you know, you don't fall on your sword for Vicario, bro. Fall on your sword for someone better than that. And if he does not know that by now, Thomas Frank might be stupider than I thought.
Can I just say that the Spurs fans are, I get it, right? There's some sort of expectation on them. Like they obviously beat us and jokes on us, haha, right? But generally, where did they get off? Like they were finished 17th last season. They're literally the only person we can laugh at when it comes to the league in terms of like finishing as diabolically as us. And they're in what, like mid-table now? They've had a pretty bad run, but like they're coming off the season with Ange where they lost like 25 games or something ridiculous. It's not that level. Why have they lost their heads so quickly? I know this is bad, but come on, man. Like, they're doing better, much better than last season.
They hired the manager. You lot got the signings in, but you've got the same manager in it. So it's easy. Like, if things aren't going exactly as well as you can look for improvement over that period, innit? It's like, what
4
happened
months,
with
bro.
Ange? No, but what happened with Ange? It feels like basically Spurs are a guy that found a baddie and all the red flags were there, yeah. Like, she had the crystals and the, them incenses. She smoked her special cigarettes with rose petals instead of tobacco, and them things there. Like, all the red flags were there in it. And he went through the season and it was a terrible season for him. And he's gotten the courage to lock things off with her. And he's doing no contact. And do you know what my man's done? He's gone to the vegan farmers market or the hemp store or the bookstore, wherever you find these babes, and he's found another one. He's found another one, and he's trying to convince himself that it's going to be different. It don't look different, though. That's what he's in. It don't look different.
Frank in the same level as
to a Spurs fan, I'm saying. So you already need to imagine that you've got a level of mental illness that I don't possess. Yeah. Secondly, how different does it feel to them as a fan? If you're a season ticket holder, for example, again, mental illness, and you're paying money, I think they're paying like bills per win for their season tickets. It's so
one of the most expensive season tickets in release.
But it's Spurs.
I
get all of that.
My big thing is, Antony, no, you're spot on, right? This is the problem that they've got. I've heard certain Spurs fans saying that the next manager needs to get an argument. They are delusional. They literally have delusions of grandeur where they think that they've got options to get way better managers and better players than they can actually get. They don't realize.
I can understand their delusions. Some
be happy
with
who you've got. No, yeah, that's fair enough. They got Conte and Jose. To be honest, both of them were in a weird part of their career, and they quite quickly found out that Spurs ain't the club that you want to be at if you want to win stuff, right? So they both got the hell out of there really, really quickly. They need to realize that their level is like Thomas Frank. It's that second tier down. They need to be going and getting them managers and them players and then building something there so that they can actually attract better players and better managers to their team. And they're going to have to go through some struggles to get there. But they think that they've got the option to go and fucking Rodrigo. They think they've got the option to go and get an Argusman. Bro, you're not in the conversation for that. Even the amount of money that English teams can throw at people, you're still not in the conversation for any of those players, bro. You're not going to see Rodrigo come to you.
I've never understood
Argusman doesn't even know that you exist. Saying top Spur, like that Korean or Chinese done out here. Like, bro, people don't know who you are. Build your team back up so that people actually know who you are. Europa League did not convince anyone. People were still looking at that final saying, Man United are playing who? They thought that you were Carrier Bag FC, bro. Like, you don't involve yourselves in these conversations yet. Build something, and then you can get there, and then people won't confuse you for Bodo Glimt to be constant. Like, get back to a level and build from there. Let's not just assume that you're in this conversation. You're not.
It's true.
Wait.
I don't even know why we spoke. I remember asking early on to Ant, like, why do we even have to predict Spurs games? Like, this wasn't that their first trophy in like God knows how long, and before that was God knows how long. Like, I don't know where this entitlement comes from. I don't even know why they get media coverage. No, actually, I do know why they get media coverage, but I won't say anything more because we've said enough today. But anyway, besides the point. Okay, I don't. They're like Everton to me. Like, genuinely, I don't understand. They just have a lovely stadium where Beyonce can have concerts and Usher and all these. That's all Tottenham are. I don't know what they are fundamentally.
All right.
Like, they're just there.
We need PR training, man. We need to go through.
Khem's gone. Khem's gone.
I didn't say anything about 50p's and 20p's. Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't.
I'll give you that one. But I will say the manager, even though they're doing terribly, they need to get better players. You can't tell me that they got to be pulling up trees with fucking Danso and Vicario and all these youngsters in midfield and fucking Richarlison up front. Come on, man. These are shit players I'm naming. Right? They've somehow thought that they're better players than they are. Like, Madison Fair Dues is decent. Kulusevski's pretty good. Solanke can be decent, and he always batters us, to be fair. But, like, the rest of their team is pretty fucking average if we're looking at it. So give Thomas Frank a bit of time. Let him get a few more good players in. and they might actually be decent. But he's not. He can't turn water into wine, man. We got to. They need to relax themselves.
You guys are also
anyway,
facts, but you specifically asked about their delusion, innit? Like every fan base has delusion, innit? We spend a lot of time talking about how much the deluded gooners upset Lana. Do you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm just saying from their perspective, if you watched Ange Ball, this is just more boring Ange Ball in terms of the results that they're getting from a fan perspective.
Result, just
I hear it.
It's so peak. That's where the anger's coming from. I actually don't think it's necessarily entitlement. I think it's PTSD.
Ange's broken these guys.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you're comparing them to deluded Arsenal fans. Right? We have Invincibles. We have Henry. We have things that we can talk about.
17-year-old deluded Arsenal fans on the internet.
No, but you can say that. That's fair enough. But at the same time, like, what have they got to really say that they need to be in the conversation to be fighting for the title? They've only fought for the title once in recent history, and they came third in the end.
That wasn't even a fight.
Like, one Champions League final with two of the best players they've ever had in their history of Harry Kane and Son. That's what they're saying that their entitlement, their delusion comes from.
Is Xavi Simons a fraud?
When they bought Kane, he was not a star, right? They turned him into one. When they bought Son, he was not a star. They turned him into one. They need to realize you're not going to buy stars. That's not your team. Not who you are. You need to build them, and they're not doing that. They're too busy like picturing the grass is always greener with somebody else. They're not getting Iriola. They're not getting Glasner. They're not getting Nagelsmann. They're not getting Zidane. They're not getting Xavi. You're not getting any of those people. You've got Thomas Frank. You've got Venkataraman or whatever your CEO is. You've got Bentancur. These are the ones that you've got.
They got the NFL.
Your reality.
Beyonce.
They've got the NFL. They've got the go-karting. Exactly. They got the go-karting track and all the They got the
Ledley King highlight reel, Gareth Bale highlight reel. Just have that, man. Adele tickets. Oh, Rhys, thank you.
Get Levy back, for fuck's sake. Get Levy back. Just be who you need to be. This is your team. This is your club. This is your history.
Hey, I don't know. Ant looks like he's desperate to try and steer the convo on. But all I would say is, yeah, as much as I love ripping on deluded shits, the Tottenham fans, yeah, I think there's a level of realism. Like if you hear Tottenham fans saying that they should be in the title fight, let me know. Point me in the direction of that because I could always use more laughs. Do you know what I'm saying? But I do think here's a title race. Here's where Tottenham have been playing at, and there is some realism in between, in it. If you're a Spurs fan and you're looking at, because hear what you're saying about building up players, yeah. If you're looking at like a Bournemouth or a Brighton, teams that are doing that, you're like, wait, we're a bigger club. As Khem was saying, we've got Adele and Beyonce doing a flipping rodeo there, and the NFL like moving all of our grass about like twice a year, like. Why aren't we in a position to at least be challenging these teams? Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's where the frustration and the calls for the manager to go is. I don't necessarily think it's that Thomas Frank isn't at their level. And I think they've got I think they've been mad unlucky with injuries. And they've got some good players that are turning into that. Like, who's the fullback that likes to talk too much on social media? Jed Spence.
Yeah.
If he wasn't a Tottenham Hotspur player, I think I would vocally say that I liked him a lot. You know, I like that. He's good. Kulichevsky's a baller. I like Madders. I think they've been mad unlucky and some certain things haven't paid off. But like again, if you look at Richarlison and back him, that's incompetence, in my opinion. So it's like some of it's what they deserved.
Yeah, they stink, man. They stink, and they should hold on to Thomas Frank and get rid of the shit players that they got, and their fans need to give their head a wobble. My prediction is Newcastle 3-1 Spurs. Nash has gone 2-1 Spurs. Crazy. Don't know what he's smoking. I don't know what Nash is on right now, but yeah, he's on a mad thing. Arsenal versus Brentford. What's your prediction, bro? You're on mute, bro.
I've gone 3-1 to the Arsenal. 3-1 to the boys.
All right, fair enough. Yep, 3-1. Rhys, you're in the house. You missed the whole Chelsea-Arsenal segment, bro, which was absolute bedlam. So when you watch it back...
I heard the slander. I heard the slander from my captain. My dad used to tell me, those who don't hear will feel. Innit? Wait, I can't explain them. Anyway, I went just like predictions. Yeah, 2-0.
Yeah.
2-0 Arsenal.
All right, fair enough.
I like that.
Jonty, what's your prediction, bro?
I've got 2-0 Arsenal as well.
All right, 2-0. Khem, what's your prediction, Arsenal-Brentford?
2-0 as well.
All right, 2-0 again. Razor, what's your prediction?
I've gone 3-1 to the Arsenal.
All right, different. Oh, you and I both got 3-1. I've gone 2-1 Arsenal. So yeah, I think it'll be a bit closer. Nash has gone 2-0 Arsenal. Io, Leeds, Chelsea, what's your prediction?
I've gone 2-1 Chelsea.
All right, 2-1. Rhys, this is your moment. You can bundle in a little bit of your Chelsea commentary from the Arsenal game as well. Catch up a little bit.
Well, yeah, I'll just keep it short. But yeah, I went 3-1 Chelsea in the race for the top 4. So hopefully we can get a win and keep up the momentum, you know. Yeah, just in the Arsenal game, obviously I heard you guys, you weren't kind of wrong. Obviously in the Rhys James thing, I think it's a game of opinions. I've got the stats, so I know the work he put in the game. He left Rhys at home literally because he was defending the centre back. But yeah, you can. It's a game you could say Sanchez. He did have a good performance. I think we can all agree on that. Like no one. I think a lot of people have been getting behind Sanchez a lot more now. So overall, it was a good performance. I think we set out to match Arsenal physically, and I think we might have overdid it slightly in certain aspects of the game. Like I was surprised sort of after going a man down, we didn't sort of fold. We kind of wanted to sort of take the game a bit more, even though obviously, like 1-1's a fair result. I think for Arsenal, maybe they could have done more to go and win it. But they did have their chances towards the last end of the game, so it's a good point for them considering the 2 games they played before that. So I wouldn't be so down bad. The title's still theirs. I mean, let's not play down anything of that. Overall I think both teams can be happy with a point, although the sort of title winner in Arsenal might have wanted more from it. Yeah, good work, lads. Big up my captain as well, like, because I don't know where this standards come from. But, and yeah, just to, if he was that right back, then if he wasn't right back, then it would be a problem. Like, don't get me wrong, Timber's not shit. Like Timber's decent, but like he doesn't. Yeah, it's just not the same, man. It's just not the same. Like going forward, like it's mad. But like I said, like it's a game of opinions.
Your bias is disgusting. I appreciate respecting rating your players. No, I appreciate I rate players, but what you're saying is crazy. To try and downplay Timber is crazy work.
I think he is quality, but like right now, like James has moved into midfield, so I guess it's not even a conversation.
It wasn't one in the first place. Don't worry about it.
But where does Tuchel play him? Where does Tuchel play Rhys James? Like, there's a reason for it. But yeah, like I think Timber's decent anyway. In terms of us, like we're slowly, consistently doing well, getting better, keeping clean sheets, and we've got a good centre back partnership with Chalobah and Fofana. When he's not getting speeding tickets, like Jonty likes to remind me. But we're going okay. We're going okay. I don't think because we just lack the maturity to be in a title race, to be honest. Like, and I'll die on that hill. Like, too many red cards, like, and too many like just jeopardizing matches when we can go out and compete and win. So I don't think we're in it yet. But like next season, I yeah, I would expect us to be pushing a lot more. Maresca, tactically, I think he's just getting better and better. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, the real title race, I think, is me versus Io in the prediction league. Like, I don't know if you noticed that. I'm coming up that table. You're in trouble.
Say it louder. I'm not in trouble. I don't think. You know what's funny? I've heard that from about 4 different people in this conversation. That's what 4 different people have said that I need to be worried. And 4 people have fallen, man.
Don't worry, you and Antony can celebrate the time you win it. Don't worry, you won your play together. It's okay.
I'm telling you, you can take it back to a month ago. Poco said something about my name. Then after Jonty said something about my name, and now Rhys saying something about my name. There's only one consistent there, boys. It's lonely at the top. I've told you this from the beginning. Word to a shacket, man. I've told you it's been lonely, man. Someone join me.
It's a marathon. It's a marathon, my friend.
All right, Johns, what's your prediction in this Leeds-Chelsea game?
I want to say one thing first to mimic a very famous Liverpool fan. We don't do buts and maybes. We do absolutes. And if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle. So when you talk about Rhys James, if he played right back, he's not fucking back. So settle down. I've gone 1-0 Chelsea. Thank you.
I was wondering where that was going to go. Whether it was going to be Rhys with the Rhys James slander, or if it's going to be Io with the prediction league slander. So you kept it right till the end. Well done, Johns. Khem, what's your prediction? Leeds Chelsea.
Antony Chang, I've gone 1-0 Chelsea.
Well done, sir. Well done. Razor, what's your prediction?
Sorry, I closed that window in front of me, but while I reopen it, I will just say all the arguments I've heard about why Rhys James can't be talked down upon basically just lead to Chelsea fans thinking that he either plays prettier football or is a prettier man than Yuri and Timber. And that's not what I judge my right backs on anyway. 4-2 to Chelsea, in my opinion. 4-2 to Chelsea.
He's better. If he doesn't match Timber defensively, like he's not worse.
No, he
than
doesn't.
Timber
He doesn't match Timber.
You must be talking about Timber's brother, right? His twin.
You don't think he matches him defensively?
You're not talking about Urian, right? You're talking about his twin.
I'm 100% talking about Pastor Urian. Pastor Urian.
Okay, interesting.
Like, I don't know. I guess, yeah, it's a game of opinions. I'll just have to agree to disagree with you on that one. Like, yeah, everything Timber can do, James can do, if not better. And I'll die on that hill.
Please don't.
Yeah, stay with me.
Okay, so I'll give you one availability.
Time you said that, don't die, please.
See, moving forward.
But 4-2 to Chelsea.
For fuck's sake. All right, I've gone 2-0 Chelsea, and Nash has gone 2-1 Chelsea. All right, Io, what's your prediction? Liverpool, Sunderland.
I'm annoyed at myself for giving this one. I don't believe it whatsoever now I've read it. But I've gone Liverpool 2-0, and I don't know why I've done that. Really annoyed at myself.
Don't worry, you can ask Antony why he did it afterwards. Don't worry.
This is why I've got the byline. This is why. Can you tell the few of you watching live? Yeah, under fire host.
You're only under fire. You're only under fire by a hater. Don't worry about it, man. No, everyone else respects you. He's a hater.
All right, Rhys, what's your Rhys? What's your prediction? Liverpool, Sunderland.
I went 2-1 Liverpool, but I was very tempted to go 2-2. Obviously, Sunderland are quite good, and defensively, Liverpool aren't great. And I think Sunderland can be aggressive to sort of get at Liverpool. But yeah, I'll stick with 2-1 and hope Liverpool don't let me down.
All right, Johns, what's your prediction in this game?
I went for 2-2. I think Sunderland are a much harder game than anyone gives them credit for. I think they've done it against us. They did it against Chelsea. Somehow they didn't do it against Man United, so you never know. They might pause it up again. But yeah, I think they'll do all right against Liverpool. 2-2.
All right, fair enough. You're going to draw. Khem, what's your prediction on this one?
My head says 2-1 Sunderland, but I've gone with my heart, and it's probably going to fail me. But I'll pick 1-0 only because I ridiculously asked for a ticket for this match time ago, and I'm stuck with it. So I can't catch another L in the flesh. If it was on TV, I'd have said another result. But 1-0, which is just ridiculous. Like Ayo said, I fully agree. Like even predicting a clean sheet for this team just sounds outlandish. But here we are.
You got one against West Ham, so don't lose hope. Razor, what's your prediction on this one? Liverpool, Sunderland.
They got one against West Ham because Paqueta had a bet on it. And secondly, allegedly, I wouldn't want to mess with his mental health. Very serious subject. Yeah, to be honest, you're just doing up cope, bro. I've gone 2-1 Sunderland. I was thinking about Liverpool potentially being the team that we know that they can be, but they kind of just got their 2-0 win against West Ham. So I think they're going to go back into silly mode.
Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah, I agree. I've also gone Liverpool 1, Sunderland 2. I think their manager actually needs to get a shout out, you know, because what he's doing with that team, they've signed so many new players. A lot of them are actually ballers, though, so it's not like a crazy shock. But to do that and to be performing as well as they are, and I've never heard of this Don who manages them, so he's not even like
Labrie.
Labrie. Yeah.
And they sold Job as well, so he's done really well, man.
Yeah, Job's stinking up in Dortmund though, so that may have been a win for them. But generally, they're doing really well. They sold Job and got Granit Xhaka, so they've obviously upgraded that midfield massively.
Mukiele is really good, and Alderete, like they've made some unbelievable signings.
Yeah,
that goalie as well. That goalie's really good as well. So good team. So yeah, I think they'll go to Anfield and beat you. So I'm gone 2-1. Nash has gone 2-0 Sunderland. So slightly different there. Io, to wrap it up then, United versus West Ham on Thursday. What's your prediction?
I've gone United 2-0. I think, just you'll be confident. West Ham look terrible. And I think 2-0. I think 2-0 at home should be a comfortable result for you guys. So 2-0 for Amram. Keeps his job still. Yeah, strong.
He's not under pressure. Rhys, sorry. What's your prediction in that one? United West Ham?
I went 2-0 United. West Ham terrible. United got a bit of confidence from the other day.
All right, fair enough. 2-0 again. Johns, what's your prediction in this one?
I went 2-1. I don't trust Man United to keep a clean sheet. So 2-1 Man United.
Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense. Khem, what's your prediction in this one?
I also went 2-1 Man United. Another opportunity for that kid to try and shave his head. Although you don't play midweek, so maybe not. But West Ham are garbage, so you should win that.
Yeah, and technically this is midweek. All right, 2-1 again. All right, Razor, what's your prediction on this one?
That was actually going to be my smart ass comment. That I think United have probably recovered from their last midweek game, which, correct me if I'm wrong, was against Grimsby. I've gone 2-1 United because West Ham are shit, and people, when people comment on the pictures of bodacious women on the internet, they've started saying turn around and show me all of that Olympic Stadium. So
Yikes.
That's what the Queen Elizabeth Stadium, that's what they're saying, bro. They're saying that the running track, all of that, West Ham are just, people are talking about them getting relegated, man. It's kind of peak for all of the Essex pods. I think even United will be able to get a win off them, unfortunately for Essex. I
think we've got some United fans in Essex too, so there'll be some United fans happy in Essex. I've gone 3-1 United. If we can't beat West Ham, then fuck me. We've got serious problems, and Amram might need to be heading to the job centre soon because they don't look good. Even Jared Bowen, who I rate as a player, he was god awful in that game against Liverpool. No Paqueta. I can't see them getting a result. But to be honest, I was in very much this feeling with Everton. So maybe I should chill out a little bit. But I've gone 3-1. Nash has gone 1-1. Never know, he's a United fan. All right, guys, that wraps up all the predictions. Midweek extra bonus episode done. We'll probably be here back end of the week to preview the games coming up on the weekend and running through the results. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in, and see you guys soon.
Cheers.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.